Individuals, there are 3 fatalities. The other 2 individuals were transported to an area hospital where they are receiving medical attention and are in stable condition currently. I want to also offer some information about the closures of I-70. The closures of I-70, we have hard closures at Highway 6 on I-70 going eastbound, and hard closure at Kipling going westbound. So if you can find alternative routes, that would be much appreciated.
How long will these closures last?
It's hard to say. The investigation is ongoing, and we are currently early in the investigation.
With those vehicles, you said there were several vehicles. Can you say how many vehicles exactly?
I believe there were 3 additional vehicles to the semi-truck.
Is the construction that's underway up here, is that restricting the lanes heading eastbound at this point, Chief? And could that have played a role in the budget?
I can't speculate on that. The investigation is still ongoing.
So
Are
you
the
can't
lanes
say
restricted though, do you know?
There are some lane restrictions.
so you can't say if speed was a factor with the semi or what happened?
We haven't finished the investigation, so we are just a few steps into the investigation.
So 3 fatalities, 1 person was taken to the hospital, stable condition.
3 fatalities, 2 to the hospital, and the 2 at the hospital are in stable condition.
Are you able to say man, woman, ages of any of the victims?
We're still confirming that, so at this point I want to hold on until I make sure I have the information, appropriate information.
What about the truck driver?
The truck driver was injured as well. He was transported and is in stable condition.
Any idea where the truck was heading? Where it was coming from?
We haven't gotten into that part of the investigation yet.
So 3 people went to the hospital, 2 passengers and the truck driver?
3 people from a passenger car went to the hospital, and then the truck driver also went to the hospital. I'm sorry, 2 people went to the hospital from one of the cars, and then the truck driver went as well.
So there's quite a debris field up there, obviously.
Yes.
And I imagine it's going to take hours to clean up, a timetable for cleanup in any way, shape, or form.
It's hard to say. What I'll offer is our CDOT partners are on scene and are preparing a plan to get all of that taken care of. But it will take a substantial amount of time, and we'll stay in close contact with you and ask for your help when the time comes to open that back up.
And I know this is still early on the investigation, but did the truck itself have any physical contact with any vehicles, or was it simply its cargo?
Not that we're aware of. We believe it was just the cargo at this time.
Can you clarify the car that was caused because of this crash? Was it going eastbound or westbound?
It was eastbound. I'm sorry, it was westbound. It was
And the truck
westbound.
was going
The truck was going eastbound.
So truck going eastbound.
Yes,
Oh, I'm sorry. The vehicle with the fatalities was westbound?
it was westbound.
Okay, so
yes.
all this piping went up and over the median?
Right. Right. Any other questions?
Do you know what these pipes are used for?
I'm not really sure. I'm not really sure.
So when the truck was going eastbound, all those pipes just went onto the other lane, on the westbound lanes, hitting that vehicle
Right.
that had the fatalities.
It was on the inside lane, and when it turned over, it was from the inside lane, and those pipes fell off the truck and into the westbound lanes over the barrier.
And what time did all of this happen?
0821 this morning is when we got the first call. So
And Eric, forgive me if you said this already, but just recounting how many vehicles involved altogether?
we're still trying to get a specific number. There are currently 3 additional vehicles up there, but we are currently in the process of interviewing most of our reporting parties to figure out if there was an additional vehicle that may have left the scene or went to some other place.
4th vehicle, perhaps?
We are unsure at this
So
moment.
would that be the truck and 3 other vehicles, or that's the total?
At this time, I'm aware of the truck and 3 other vehicles on scene.
So of those 3 vehicles that crashed, one of them had 5 people in it.
Yes,
3
ma'am.
people died. 2 people went to the hospital. What about the other 2 crashes? How were those people?
We are unaware. We are unaware of any injuries. We offered medical attention, and at this point, they have said they're not in need.
And the closures, Highway 6 on I-70 eastbound, Kipling going westbound.
Highway 6 going westbound on I-70, and then Highway 6 on I-70 going eastbound, and then Kipling I-70 going westbound.
Thank you.
And at this point, again, I know it's very early. Drugs, alcohol, speed.
Too early in the investigation to offer. Any other
Will the
questions?
truck driver be tested?
We'll pursue our investigation as a normal investigation. So, very good. Hey, I appreciate your time. Thank you very much.
Just one more question. Will you be holding another press conference later today as you guys find out more information?
Updates will definitely be going out on Twitter. You can be checking the Wheat Ridge Police Department's accounts on social media. And if there's a appropriate time to have another press conference, we'll put that on there. Okay.
Very good.
Thank you.
Thanks.
All right, you're getting an update right now from the Wheat Ridge Police Department. We just learned new information in that crash that has closed both directions of I-70 there in Wheat Ridge. We specifically know that eastbound I-70 is closed at 6th Avenue, westbound closed at Kipling, causing a big backup on the highway. We know right now that a truck going east flipped over and the pipes that it was carrying rolled over onto the westbound side of the highway. We also know that 5 people were in the car going west. 3 of them were killed, 2 taken to the hospital. We are told that they are stable. We are also told that the driver of the truck was also taken to the hospital and they are stable. We want to get another check of the traffic conditions right now. Let's bring in Erica Lopez for a closer look at that. Erica, what are your maps showing you right now?
Yeah, so just want to go in a little bit more detail in addition to what Jordan was just talking about as far as those closures go and kind of show you what we're seeing on the CDOT cameras out here. One other thing to note, we just heard that press conference moments ago and they said there were 2 additional vehicles that were involved, but it's unclear what happened, how many people are injured, if any. So we'll, of course, be pushing to get more information and more answers for you. So here's kind of a look at where the closure starts on the eastbound side. This is about a half a mile east of 32nd. We know that eastbound closure starts at 6th Avenue, like we just heard moments ago. So this is a look, again, like you heard, eastbound and westbound closures. This is about a 0.2 miles west of 32nd, where we're seeing no flow eastbound, and you're seeing everyone being detoured off at 32nd this hour. As far as travel at I-70 on the eastbound side and 6th Avenue, that's a look at that full closure where everyone is being detoured off. And then I-70 westbound at Kipling, where folks are stuck on the interstate because that westbound closure we are dealing with between Ward Road and Kipling this morning. So want to bring you over to our maps just to kind of run through those. Sometimes that visual on the map is a little bit helpful if you do need to travel in this part of town between Arvada, Wheat Ridge area, Golden even. This is a massive headache with the interstate being shut down in both directions. It's a pretty big stretch here. So that westbound closure is between Kipling and Ward Road, where you're seeing the double purple out here on I-70. And then that eastbound closure that we were just talking about starts at 6th Avenue, goes all the way up to Ward Kipling area here. We are seeing delays on 6. I know we could hear our reporter on the ground there, Brianna Fernandez, continuing to ask about closures on 6. We couldn't get exact confirmation, but we do know 6th and I-70 on the eastbound side is shut down. From what we could hear, it sounds like 6th itself is still open. So we want to talk about those workaround options for you because, of course, this is a big part of town where a lot of people travel in and out of. So 6th Avenue as well as Colfax run parallel, and those are going to be really good workaround options for you if you need to travel this way. We know anytime we're dealing with a fatal crash, sometimes it can be hours and hours and hours of interstate closures. So those are going to be what you want to rely on, just a couple options. I do also want to point out we're dealing with a secondary crash on 470 this morning as well, with delays as you get ready to travel toward Morrison. So a lot happening right now, Jordan. Of course, still a lot of questions we need answered, but for now, these are going to be the areas you need to avoid and the best way to get around them.
Yeah, a big question there, Erica, talking about what potentially caused this crash. Wheat Ridge Police saying that it's too early to tell right now, but as you were talking about, this is a big highway for our state. It's heavily traveled right there, so you can imagine the traffic that is backed up right now. Again, as she had mentioned, we have learned that 3 people were killed in this crash. 2 people that were also in the car with those 3 people have been taken to the hospital. We are told that they are stable. The driver of the semi-truck going the opposite direction has also been taken to the hospital. We're also told that they are stable. They were carrying carrying pipes. That's what we could see from Sky 9 on the back of that truck. When that truck rolled over, those pipes spilled onto the westbound lanes of I-70, and that is what caused that crash for the cars driving westbound. Again, as Erica mentioned, there are 3 additional cars in this crash in addition to that semi-truck. We have several crews on the ground. We're going to get more information. Again, this is just the latest information from Wheat Ridge Police. I want to go over those closures again for anybody that has to head out anytime soon. Again, I-70 in both directions closed there in Wheat Ridge between Highway 58 and Kipling, and then westbound between Kipling and Ward. Of course, you're seeing kind of right here, some traffic earlier was allowed to go through. It looks like they have shut down all lanes of traffic in both directions. Quite a big response from crews out there. Again, let's go over to Erica while we wait for our crews on the ground to get set up. Once again, show us on the maps what you're seeing. You actually have some cameras there that are showing live conditions right now, Erica.
Yeah, and you know, you were just talking about the congestion we were seeing from this shot from Sky 9 a little bit earlier, where they were letting people pass through even though the interstate is closed. So sometimes we see that where they'll allow people just to pass through so they're not stuck on the interstate. But at this time, it's a headache for drivers on westbound I-70 at Kipling. One of our cameras is just kind of showing the parking lot. So folks are not able to get off the interstate right here. It is so congested. So this is a massive headache. I don't want anyone to get stuck in this during, you know, the lunch hour. If you're going to be headed that way for whatever reason you may have, just part of your normal morning route. Maybe you were going to be heading to lunch out there. I mean, this is not going to be what you want to get stuck at. Of course, being detoured off at 6th, getting onto 6th Avenue is going to be an option for a workaround. But I'm curious to see if they open things up to allow some of these folks to clear off of the interstate, because we know with a closure, if you're just stuck in the middle of it, it can be just truly a disaster. As far as I-70 and 32nd, we're still seeing the closure there. This is another camera at I-70 and 32nd where you can just see folks being detoured off at this hour. So we can run you back through some of those closures. I know Jordan was just talking about them, but if you're just jumping on with us, we can bring you over to those maps. Unless we've got a crew on the ground that we're going to go to, we can just kind of give you some of that context if we're able to, and bring you over to our maps and kind of run through if maybe you're going to be headed that way and you want a little bit more information. Where do I need to avoid? So this is that Kipling closure. We were just looking at the backup. Folks are stuck on the interstate heading through Arvada on westbound I-70 in Kipling, because that's where the westbound closure starts at Kipling, goes to Ward, and then stretching all the way down to 6th. So definitely not an ideal situation. I don't want anyone getting stuck in that right now. Travel for you on that eastbound side of I-70 going to be blocked starting at 6th, going up toward Kipling area. So we are seeing delays for any folks that were on 6th, maybe trying to get onto I-70. That's not going to be an option right now. So that is something to keep in mind. Colfax, though, is clear, and that's another alternate that we can be thinking about if you need to travel through this area. We also have that 470 crash causing delays as well. We'll send things over to Jordan right now.
All right, Erica, thank you. And to piggyback on what she was saying, unfortunately, we can't say right now when those lanes will be open. As she mentioned, these things can take time, especially when we know that there is a fatal crash, which is what we're dealing with right now there along I-70 in Wheat Ridge. We have several crews on the ground who were just at that Wheat Ridge police press conference. One of them is our own Lauren Scafidi. She's on the ground right now. We want to check in with her for the latest information. Lauren, a lot of questions were asked in that press conference. What did we learn?
Yeah, we had quite a few questions in that press conference. I'll get you that new information here in a second, but I want to give you a look from the ground. If you take a look, that's 70 right behind me. You can see those wheels from the semi up in the air. Obviously not supposed to be doing that. So we just learned that the semi was going east on 70 when it flipped over. It was carrying large blue plastic piping. I asked what that piping is used for. The police weren't able to tell me. I also asked where the truck was coming from, where it was going. We also don't know that information, but we do know that the piping just came right off of the truck and it went into the westbound lanes. That's when it caused 3 more crashes with other cars. In one of those cars, 5 people were in it. 3 of those people died, and 2 of them went to the hospital. They are in stable condition. The people in the other 2 cars that crashed because of this are okay, according to Wheat Ridge Police. So let's talk about the closures here on 70. There's a hard closure on Highway 6 going eastbound and a partial closure at Kipling going westbound. Again, we're unsure how long those are going to be closed for. We will keep asking those questions and keep you updated as soon as we learn those. We're not sure why this truck crashed yet. Again, that's another question that we're still trying to get answers to, but we do know that the truck driver went to the hospital. That is all the information that we learned from Wheat Ridge Police this morning. We are on scene here. We'll be bringing you live updates at noon, at 4, at 5, and we will keep bringing you information as we learn it here on the ground. For now, we're live. Lawrence Cafidi, 9 News.
Yeah, and there's still a lot of information to be learned as it's still very early in this investigation. Lauren, thank you. As she mentioned, we'll continue to update you across the networks of 9 News as well as on 9news.com and on 9 News Plus. Right now, we're going to return you to regular programming. Thank you for being with us. We'll see you back here for 9 News at noon.